Welcome. Let's continue the topic of testing of flat plate collectors by solving some numerical examples on characterization and testing of flat plate collectors. So this is the problem 1, which reads, given a water heating flat plate collector fitted with 2 glass covers and a non-selective absorber plate of dimension 1 by 2 meter. The collector is tested by the standard procedure. So following data is obtained. So this data is given, and in addition to that the data here is also given. So this data is obtained. The values of TFI are given: collector fluid inlet temperature, collector fluid outlet temperature, ambient temperature, and IT. The values of IT are given. So calculate the value of instantaneous efficiency and plot them against the parameter TF minus TA by IT. Draw a best fit straight line and determine the values of UL, that is overall heat loss coefficient, and heat removal factor FR. Secondly, how does the value of FR, that is collector heat removal factor, change if the value of flow rate m dot is increased to 1.4 kg per minute? So assume that there is no significant change in the values of F dash, collector efficiency factor, due to increase in the m dot. So let's try this example. An additional data given is tau alpha, average transmittance absorptance product, average value 0.74 in the first case. Mass flow rate in the first case is 1.1 kg per minute. CP4180. Collector area by absorber area. The ratio of collector area by absorber area is given as 1.2, and absorber area is 2 meters square, which is given. Now this is the data of collector fluid inlet temperature, outlet temperature, TA and IT is given. So using Excel, we can calculate here. So this data is entered here and the values are calculated here. So we can continue our discussion here. So using Excel, you can calculate AC is equal to AP into 1.2, that is 2.4 meters square of collector area. We can calculate all the cases, and then instantaneous efficiency we can calculate as m dot Cp TFO minus TFI in the numerator, and then IT into collector area. That's why we have calculated collector area here. So IT is given and AC is known. So with this we can calculate the instantaneous efficiency values corresponding to this combination of TFI and TFO. Then the parameter TFI minus TA upon IT into AC upon IP, this factor is also calculated corresponding to these values. Now if we plot these values here, now at m dot equal to 1.1 kg per minute, on x-axis TFI minus TA upon IT into AC upon IP. So this parameter on the x-axis, okay, and efficiency values. So these are the efficiency values on the y-axis. So if we plot this, these are the data points we obtained after this, and then we need to fit a straight line to this. So if we fit a straight line to this, we will get an equation of the line as y equal to minus 3.5 x plus 0.538. As we discussed, as we have seen earlier, it is the equation of the straight line is y is equal to mx plus c. So this m is nothing but the slope of the line, negative slope of the line. So this corresponds FRUL. So FRUL is 3.53 for this fit, and then FR, the constant C, y-intercept is 0.538, that is FR tau alpha average. So the value of tau alpha average is given. We can calculate the value of FR from here. So the value of FR is 0.73 and the value of overall heat loss coefficient comes up to be 4.86. So for this data at 1.1 kg per minute, we get these values. Now, for the second set of data, where mass flow rate is 1.4 kg per minute, we obtain these values of instantaneous efficiency, and the x-axis parameter values are these. So if we plot these values here, efficiency, if we plot efficiency on y-axis and again same x parameter here, the fit obtained is like this. In that case, y is equal to mx plus c. So m slope is 4.5. So FR value is 4.5 and then tau alpha, FR tau alpha average is 0.68. So FR tau alpha average is 0.68. From that we can calculate the value of FR to be 0.92 and then UL value to be 4.9. Now what are the comments if we compare both the cases? So two cases are there when mass flow rate initially was 1.1 and then it is increased to 1.4. So what is a percentage increase in the mass flow rate? There is a percentage increase of 36% in the mass flow rate. Okay. Then what results we obtain here? Collector efficiency, collector heat removal factor is 0.73. It is increased to 0.92. So there is a 26% increase in the collector heat removal factor with increase in the mass flow rate. And then as regards loss coefficient, overall loss coefficient was previously 4.86. It is increased in a quantum manner to 4.9 watt per meter square Kelvin. So there is a 0.82% increase in the loss coefficient. So with increase in the mass flow rate, the efficiency of the collector also increases and loss coefficient, rate of loss also increases. But the increase in the efficiency is more rapid as compared to the increase in the loss coefficient. So we can conclude that the mass flow rate can be maintained as high as possible within the design constraint limit. So increasing the mass flow rate in the circuit is a desirable thing. This is the final conclusion we can draw from these readings. Now this is problem number 2. It reads like this. A liquid flat plate collector has the following characteristic parameters. FR tau alpha average is 0.73 and FRUL equal to 3.5 watt per meter square Kelvin. So in an experiment on such a collector, the following observations are recorded. Collector flow rate is given as 0.02 kg per second per meter square of absorber area. So please note this here, the mass flow rate is given as per meter square of absorber area. And collector outlet temperature 72 degrees Celsius. This is TFO. Ambient temperature TA 29 degrees Celsius. An unshaded pyranometer kept on horizontal surface and pyrheliometer record. So there are two meters kept. One is unshaded pyranometer which is kept on a horizontal surface and another pyrheliometer which measures the beam normal radiation. So it measures 780 and 650 watt per meter square respectively. So the pyranometer is reading 780 watt per meter square and pyrheliometer is reading 650 watt per meter square. Location is given 22 degree 39 minutes north latitude and 88 degree 27 degree 88 degrees and 27 minutes east. So this is the longitude given. Date is September 13. So corresponding to September 13, the day number comes out to be 256 and equation of time correction is plus 5 minutes. Now time given is 11 hours Indian Standard Time. So it is a local standard time. We have to convert this into local apparent time. Slope of the collector beta 20 degrees. Surface azimuth angle of the collector that is gamma is 40, gamma s is 40, gamma 45 degrees. Reflectivity of the surrounding surface 0.2. We have to calculate the collector inlet temperature TFI. So the solution goes like this. We have two expressions. One, useful heat gain rate, which can be expressed as m dot Cp into TFO minus TFI in watts if m dot is in kg per second. And useful heat gain rate also can be expressed using Hotel-Villiers equation. AP, that is absorber plate area or absorber area, into bracket IT, solar radiation intensity, FR tau alpha minus FRUL into TFI minus TA. This is again in watt. So if we equate A and B, the only unknown parameter in the above equation is TFI. So if we equate here m dot Cp TFO minus TFI, and this, so m dot here, m dot by AP is 0.02 kg per second meter square. So we have to bring this AP here down. So m dot AP will be known, Cp is known, TFO is known. Here IT we can calculate, FR tau alpha is known, and then FRUL is known, and TFI is not known, TA is known. So only unknown will be TFI. We have to simplify these expressions. So m dot Cp is given, so everything is known. We can further simplify in the next step here. Separate the terms having TFI. Separate the coefficients of TFI here. And then finally we get an expression for TFI. So using this expression of TFI, we can calculate the collector fluid inlet temperature. So for evaluation of this, we need to calculate IT first. So solar radiation falling on a collector. Intensity. Phi latitude is given, slope is known, azimuth is given. So del declination angle corresponding to September 13 can be calculated. This is 3.13. Local apparent time corresponding to 11 IST, 11 hours IST, comes out to be 11.5. From local apparent time, the hour angle is calculated using this expression, comes out to be 7.8 degrees. So with this data, we can calculate the zenith angle. So cos theta z comes out to be 0.93. Then incident angle can be evaluated using this generalized expression. So cos theta comes out to be 0.99. So by knowing cos theta z and cos theta, we can find out the value of tilt factor for beam radiation. So tilt factor for beam radiation is cos theta by cos theta z, which is already known. This is 0.99 by 0.93, 1.03. Then tilt factor for diffuse radiation is 1 plus cos beta by 2. Beta is known, so we can have this value as 0.97. Then tilt factor for reflected radiation can be calculated. It comes out to be 0.006. So having been known these values, we can calculate the value of IT. Now evaluation of IT. In evaluation of IT, we need to know the diffuse radiation, because diffuse radiation intensity is not given. Okay, so diffuse radiation intensity can be evaluated using ID is equal to Ig minus IB. Okay, so here Ig is given and IB, this is a beam radiation falling on a horizontal surface. However, a pyrheliometer reading which gives 650 watt per meter square, it is a beam normal radiation. So pyrheliometer measures the beam normal radiation. So we have to convert this IBN into IB. So we already know that the beam normal radiation is equal to IB by cos theta z. So we can find out the value of IB. We know the value of cos theta z as 0.93. So value of IB, beam radiation falling on a horizontal surface, is 607 watt per meter square. Now ID we can find out from this Ig minus IB, that is 172.8 watt per meter square. So IT can be evaluated using this expression, IBRB plus IDRD plus Ig. This is Ig. This summation is Ig into RR. That answer comes out to be 816 watt per meter square. Now we can recall the equation of TFI and substitute all the values. IT is known, FR tau alpha known, m dot by m. So all these values are known. Collector fluid inlet temperature value is 66.4 degrees Celsius. So this is the answer, which value seems to be logical and reasonable. Let us go to the next problem. This problem reads as the temperature rise across a flat plate collector is measured to be 7.4 degrees Celsius. So the temperature rise, remember, temperature rise across a flat plate collector is measured to be 7.4 degrees Celsius under the following conditions. So the conditions are: solar flux in the collector plane is 970 watt per meter square, ambient temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, collector flow rate is given as 144 kg per hour. Okay, and then collector overall loss coefficient UL is given 4.5 watt per meter square Kelvin. Collector absorber area is given as 2 meters square. Tau alpha average, transmittance absorptance product, average value is 0.8. Now, if the fluid inlet temperature is decreased by 10 degrees Celsius, if the fluid inlet temperature is decreased by 10 degrees Celsius, the temperature rise across the collector is 7.9, which was previously 7.1. So the temperature rise in new case is now 7.9 degrees Celsius. All other data remains the same. We have to calculate the collector efficiency factor or collector heat removal factor, we can say. Okay, so collector heat removal factor. So there are two cases. Okay, so in the first case, in the first case the temperature difference be 7.4 degrees Celsius. Okay, so delta TF1, which is TFI in the first case, minus TA is 7.4, and then delta TF2, that is equal to TFI into 2 minus TA, that is 7.9 degrees Celsius at second. So these two cases can be described with two Hotel-Villiers equations, and in these equations TFI1 and FR are unknown parameters which can be simultaneously solved. So let us see the solution. So in the first case, m dot Cp, delta TF1 is given as 7.4, AP is given as 2, IT is known, FR tau alpha, everything is known except this FR. Okay, FR is not known. So m dot Cp in the second case is this TFI2 minus TA. Now in this case, collector fluid inlet temperature in the second case is TFI1 minus 10. So if we substitute these equations, if we substitute the equation and subtract equation 1 from equation 2, then we will get the value of collector heat removal factor equal to 0.928. Now the problem asks about calculate the collector efficiency factor. Okay, we have calculated here the collector heat removal factor. Now if we recall the value of we can say I will recall the value. Yeah, if we recall the value of FR, which is equal to m dot Cp by AP. M dot Cp, the value of in this problem given as m dot 144. Cp is known, UL is known 4.5, AP is known. So everything in this equation is known except F dash. Okay, so if you use the expression of FR, then you will find out the value of F dash, which comes out to be 0.95. Okay, so that is kept as a small assignment for those who are interested to further solve this equation. Okay, let us go to the next problem. So the last problem, it reads like a liquid flat plate collector has the following characteristic parameters: FR tau alpha average 0.68, FRUL is given 6.1. It is operating under following conditions. Solar flux incident on the collector plane 900. This is IT given. Water flow rate is 0.15. This is not 0.15. This is 0.015 given. So water flow rate is 0.015. I will change this value to be 0.015. So 0.15 kg per meter square of absorber area. Ambient temperature 20 degrees Celsius. Inlet water temperature 40 degrees Celsius. So TFI is given, TA is given. FR tau alpha and FRUL are given. IT is given. So what we have to calculate? Calculate the mean absorber plate temperature of the collector if the collector efficiency factor is 0.9. Remember here collector efficiency factor F dash is given as 0.9. And second, if the circulating pump fails, what is the maximum temperature attained by the plate? So first we have to evaluate useful heat gain rate with the value of absorber plate area to be 1 meter square, because per meter square area values are given. So we will assume the absorber plate to be 1 meter square. Now QU, Hotel-Villiers equation, each parameter is known. So with Hotel-Villiers equation, useful heat gain rate comes out to be 490 watt per meter square. Now in terms of mean plate temperature, you can see here Hotel-Villiers equation is, it mentions QU in terms of collector fluid inlet temperature. Okay, so we need to write the equation in terms of mean plate temperature. So useful heat gain rate in terms of mean plate temperature is given by this expression, that is QU equal to mean absorber area IT into tau alpha. Now FR doesn't come here, come into picture here, minus overall heat loss coefficient TPM, mean plate temperature, minus ambient temperature. Now for estimating now we want to find out TPM here. So for evaluating TPM, which parameters we know? TA is given, UL is not known, tau alpha is not known separately. Okay, so we need to evaluate UL and tau alpha separately. So the data of collector efficiency factor is given as F dash equal to 0.9, and mass flow rate is given as m dot by AP, that is 0.015 kg per kg second per meter square. Okay, so now we'll recall the expression of FR. So collector heat removal factor is given by this expression. Okay, now in this expression, if you multiply m dot by AP is given, so m dot by AP, we can replace this point, this expression by 0.015. Okay, so m dot by AP, this value is known. Here also m dot by AP value is known. So the question of m dot by AP is solved. Now how to evaluate the value of UL? Now if you multiply the entire equation by UL, because the value of FRUL is given, so if you multiply this FR by UL, it comes FRUL, and FRUL is 6.1. So you substitute 6.1 here, and all other values except UL is known. The UL is not known, so we can evaluate the value. So FRUL, m dot Cp AP, that is this, when you multiply this by UL, this UL will go, so m dot Cp by AP, and this expression remains, that is equal to 6.1. And then from you solve this equation and get the value of UL as 6.96 watt per meter square Kelvin. Similarly, now UL value is known, FRUL value is known, you can find out the value of FR. So FR comes out to be 0.87. Now the value of FR is known, tau alpha value also can be determined, that is 0.78. So all these three values are known. Now mean plate temperature you can find out using this expression, in which every term is known except this TPM. So you can evaluate QU, we have already evaluated using HWB equation as 490, AP equal to 1, IT 900, tau alpha 0.78, UL 6.96, and then TPM is not known, so we evaluate TPM to be 50.45 degrees Celsius, mean plate temperature. Now to find out the stagnation temperature, we need to equate this to be 0 because flow will be 0. There will not be any TFI there. So QU, if you use the same expression here, except the only thing is that QU equal to 0 and unknown thing will be TPM. So if we evaluate this, TPM comes out to be 120.86 degrees Celsius. So with this problem, we come to the end of the testing and characterization of flat plate or low temperature collectors. There are a large variety of problems and numericals in the real life which we come across. Those can be solved, but due to the constraint of time, here only 4 problems have been attended. Those who have some additional doubts, they can always contact me on this email ID which is given. Now we will, in the next session, we will continue our discussion on concentrating collectors. We will begin with concentrating collectors, followed by thermal energy storage, and then design and optimization of solar thermal systems. Previously, the sequence of topics was like design and optimization of solar thermal systems, and then concentrating collectors, and then thermal storage. I have kept this as last because concentrating collectors and thermal energy storage form the part of syllabi of many of universities. So immediately after flat plate collectors, concentrating collectors are covered. So therefore I'm taking this concentrating collectors topic immediately after this. So we'll continue discussing concentrating collectors from the next session.